And for our first story, members of parliament have been recalled to consider a motion seeking to impeach the president, John Dramani Mahama, for accepting a Ford Expedition vehicle as a gift from a Burkinabe contractor.
An investigative report by our colleague Manasseh Awene Azori quotes Mr. Kanazue confirming giving the vehicle to the president through Ghana's ambassador to Burkina Faso. President Mahama, at a breakfast meeting with the clergy in June, denied using the vehicle for his personal comfort, saying it was added to the state's pool. A summon by the Speaker of Parliament directed MPs to return to the House on Thursday, September 1, but fell short of disclosing the agenda for the sit-in. But a Member of Parliament for Abuakwa South, Samuel Atachian, says the minority will be doing all it can to push for the commencement of impeachment processes against the president.
What is very clear and apparent that the office of the president is a place of honor and dignity. Is the one who should give us the best of examples. And if the head is rotten, then what will be the body? So we are of the view that we shouldn't sweep this issue of the Ford expedition under the carpet, and that we should investigate it, and we come to a definitive conclusion as to whether or not the president has violated the Constitution, and that will be a ground for his impeachment.
What does the minority seek to achieve at the end of the day by going through this impeachment process?
The minority seeks to uphold the Constitution of the land. People do not take the Constitution as a serious document. As the Bible is to Christianity, so the Constitution is to a people and a nation. So when people swear that they will uphold the Constitution, then you begin to see that everything is in place. If the Constitution is not upheld, we are in a state of chaos. And people think that people are trying to score political points. We are thinking about the safety, the security, the democratic sanity of this nation, which is beyond everybody.
So have you started the process already? What stage have you got into now?
I don't have any idea whether it's been started or not. But I think what should happen, not necessarily an impeachment, is that Parliament should investigate the matter. You see, because what is at stake is that if Parliament should investigate the matter and the president is not at fault, it raises its stakes. You see, and if anybody is against that, then what they are trying to do is that they don't want Parliament to exercise its full powers of oversight, and that is not good for the nation.
And the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papakwesi Indom, is urging the electorate to critically scrutinize the many promises being made by other candidates, insisting that Ghanaians deserved better than the governing NDC and the opposition MPP are offering.
Speaking at a gathering after paying a courtesy call on the chief of Offenso, Nana Riafia Kenten III, the PPP flag bearer called on the people of Offenso to demand development and progress, adding that they ought to be voting for a candidate who has the ability to really transform their lives.
We'll go to the polls few months from now. And I must say, you still have the power as electorates to bring about the change we need. You and I are witnesses to the repercussions of the last elections. We vote in order to have positive social interventions, like schools, hospitals, and the others. So if you don't get any intervention after voting a party in power, it simply means you've wasted your votes.
and election headquarters. We will provide you a lot more updates on the electioneering as we all make sure that we're ready for the main elections on December 7. But in other news, the Ghana Education Service has dismissed reports that the commencement of the 2016-2017 academic year is to be delayed due to the unavailability of funds.
Public Relations Officer of the service, Reverend Jonathan Bette, tells Joy News it's untrue. Reports making rounds that there will be a delay in the commencement of the academic year due to the late release of funds to some senior high schools in the country.
The management of Ghana Education Service wishes to inform the entire public, especially parents, teachers, and our students, that the 2016-2017 academic year will begin for the basic schools. Basic schools will go on the 13th of September. Now, with the secondary schools, provision has been made that they will go before the basic school, which the date is on the Thursday, 8th of September. So, senior high schools resumes on 8th September, whilst the basic schools go on 13th September. With the provisions made to release BEC results. Now, we have contacted the management of WAEC as to whether the results are ready. They are fast working on the release of the results for the BEC. We've been informed that second week of September, around that time, they will release the results so that preparations will be made for the first years also to join the continuing students in October. We've collected the enrollment figures from all the headmasters, headmistresses of all the secondary schools, and CSSPS is also making provision to make sure that with the enrollment figures that we receive from West Africa, from the headmasters and headmistresses, we will also make sure we adjust and make sure that we don't exceed the number that is expected to be in school or any of our institutions this year.
Electra, the Africa University College is calling for the inclusion of cultural studies in the university curricula to enable students to associate properly with their African identity and heritage.
Professor Sario speaking on the sidelines of a Webster University Ghana campus meeting to host young leaders from the West African sub-region.
Our problem is that because in the school system we don't learn anything about ourselves, we don't have any confidence. We think that engineering and science are always foreign things we have to learn. But we have all these scientific and engineering bases in our own culture. And when we learn that, it gives us confidence. Otherwise, we're always borrowing from somebody and thinking that if we are to learn anything, we have to learn it from the Europeans. But we also have the same things in our culture. And we have to relate what we learn to our culture, and that is what will give us confidence. We have engineers and scientists and so on, and yet most of the projects in this country are being done by foreigners. Why? Why is that so? If we can have confidence, and confidence comes from our own culture, not from a borrowed culture.
By the end of next month, passengers will now be able to travel to the Upper West region via air.
This follows an upgrade of the Wa Airstrip to allow for commercial flights to operate. Resident sites engineer of the project, Kwao Solomon Aye, disclosed this to journalists during a working visit by the Wa Municipal Chief Executive. Rafiq Salam reports.
As part of its agenda to create an efficient transport system, to open up the country for socio-economic activities, the government of Ghana embarked on the construction of aerodromes and airstrips in all the 10 regions in the country. The Wa Airstrip was penciled to be given a major facelift to enable it to operate domestic commercial flights. The Wa Airstrip has been there for several decades and was only used for just domestic services. Domestic airline operators have indicated that lack of insufficient terminal building and other ancillary facilities has led to poor flight operations from Accra to the Upper West Regional Capital. The estimated distance between Tamale Airport, Wa and Bologatanga is approximately between 194 miles and 100 miles respectively via road. This has brought about quite a number of traveling persons to connect to their destinations by road from Tamale via the Upper East and Upper West regions and Burkina Faso. Construction work on the Wa Airstrip began in March this year and is being executed by Skill Link Limited. The scope of work included construction of passenger terminal building, access road, fencing work to clearly define the airstrip boundaries, drainage work to control erosion, and runway marking to improve visual aids. Wa Municipal Chief Executive Isakunu Potieha took a tour of the site to see for himself the progress of work. He was taken around the site by the resident engineer of the project, Kwao Solomon Aye.
It's a 6-month duration contract. Currently, the progress is at 58%. We are crashing program as much as possible, which means that we are working during the weekends to ensure that we meet these deadlines. As much as possible, we should at least a substantial handover should be on the 15th of September. Latest ending of September, we should be having our substantial handover.
In an interaction with the media, the Wa Municipal Chief Executive Isakunu Uputia stated that he was impressed with the work done so far at the airstrip.
The work is almost 60% complete now, and with the seriousness the contractor had attached to the work, I am quite impressed that the work is moving well. The quality of work too is fine. Considering the runway demarcations and the drainage site and the departure and arrival halls are all done, almost complete, so I'm quite satisfied.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wa.
Investigative journalist Anas Aremeya Wanas has emerged the 2015 Journalist of the Year for his investigative piece on corruption in the country's judiciary.
His work exposed some 22 lower court judges and 12 high court judges who were caught on tape taking bribes to avert justice. For the first time in the history of the GJA Awards, Anas picked up a brand new Hyundai SUV car for his prize. Favor Nuno reports.
It was a glittering awards night with good music and dance, laced with tradition and a display of rich culture, with the presence of Osiadeyo Ajiman Bedu II, chairman of the 21st GJA Awards night. EC chairperson Charlotte Osei admonished the media to uphold its ethics and standards of reporting before, during and after the elections.
Discussing trivialities from dawn to dusk on radio about political leaders and allegations without basis on the electoral process, and allowing invectives to be poured on public persons and institutions alike are not the reasons why we made so many sacrifices to guarantee free speech and an independent press. And so now we live in a situation where complaints about media unfairness, media excesses, media recklessness are rampant and worrying for a large majority of our citizenry. And here I refer not only to wrong, inaccurate, defamatory, deliberately misleading articles and headlines about persons and institutions, but also untruths, errors, inaccuracies, unsubstantiated allegations which media organizations permit on their platforms by serial callers and political actors. And I did check. The profession of serial callers only exists in Ghana.
For GJA President Afel Moni, the media must work to ensure accountable leadership.
In the year under review, the media also played frontal but indispensable roles in exposing other dark spots in society, holding government to account, oiling the wheels of democracy, and deepening the culture of free speech.
Joy News' Seth Kwame Boateng took home 3 awards, the highest for the night.
I'm very excited and it also tells me the job ahead of me, that I can't lower the standard, that I would have to do more. Yeah, it's very humbling. And it's a lot of work for me, I'm telling you. I do a lot of research, and I also address some of the pertinent issues. I go down to the people, I touch base with the people, I take the microphone to the people, you understand, let them speak.
Benedict Owusu's Juju in football, Beatrice Edu's Corrosive Love, and Joseph Opoku Gakpo's Jungle Paw picked awards in various categories. Here is Benedict Owusu.
Well, it feels great. Last year I won it. This year I've been able to win it. It tells me that I have to do more. And especially when you do something and you are being recognized, it feels good. And the only thing I can say is this should inspire me to do more.
Elvis Darkon of the Finder newspaper took home one of 2 new vehicles up for grabs. Well, similar to his investigations, which surprises all and sundry, Anas picked up the topmost prize and Hyundai SUV car.
The GJA Journalist of the Year 2016 is Anas Arumiyao Anas.
The past years have been fulfilling and impactful, pushing the boundaries beyond the borders of Ghana. What I started some 17 years ago under the feet of my editor-in-chief, Abdul Malik Kwekubaku Jr., has taken off in ways I never imagined.
Sido Anas speaking. Well, that will be the end of the stories, but we also say congratulations for the team multimedia members who won the awards. We have Beatrice Edu, we also have our own
Benedict Owusu
and Seth Kwame Boateng himself also winning an award. And congratulations also to Anas Arumiyao Anas.
And to famous Atichogbe, who used to be with us. He won 2 awards.
And also Elvis
well.
Darkon of the Finder. We always tend to read a lot more of his headlines and stories.
Okay, now that we're mentioning everybody else's name, we'll forget. So to all the winners. But we're celebrating our own here on the show today. So watch out for our colleagues who won awards at the GJA. They're going to be telling us the stories, and we're going to be showing to you excerpts of those stories that won them the awards at the GJA Awards.
Okay, so please make sure you stay up and stay glued to your sets. And for the next almost 3 hours, we will bring you the best of the clues as to which of the stories they are. But right now, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at review of the newspapers and we'll look at the online portal stories.